Hey, everybody, it's the Combatcast. It's the man they call Dave, Chef Rudy, and we are going to be previewing UFC 288 this week. All goes down. Cejudo versus Sterling. But Chevy, tell people what we got coming up next week.
All right, May 13th, we're going to be reviewing this week's UFC 288, and we'll preview some of the main fights on the fight night for Rosenstruck versus Almeida. That'll be a 3 p.m. Eastern card, so we're always happy for those here on the East Coast. May 20th, we'll be going over UFC Fight Night Pennington versus Aldana, and then June 3rd, UFC Fight Night. Change in the fight, Allen versus Bruno Silva now. Jack Hermanson has pulled out.
Yeah, so we talking that. This past weekend, just to note some things here, Song Ladong, TKO over Ricky Simone. Look very
in the
impressive.
Fifth, too. Late in the fight, yeah.
Yeah, fifth round. Bantamweight on fire. And I just wanted to bring up before we just had today, couple bare knuckle fights that I thought were super entertaining over the weekend. Eddie Alvarez beating Chad Mendez. Great fight. Those two look like they're made for bare knuckle. Chad retiring though. I think he wants to move on to other things. So, but great fight. Eddie continues to have fine relevancy in different things in his career. So good for him. Luke Rockhold. It's funny. I was watching this face-off with him and Mike Perry, and he kind of drew Perry in a headlock, like Big Brothered him almost. And I'm like, yeah, that's great, but you're not allowed to wrestle. This is going to be just strikes. And boy, did that make a difference, because Perry kind of picked him apart with those, bare knuckles and broke Luke Rockhold's teeth. Luke Rockhold likes to model still, I believe, and so that's not going to help out the cause.
I was going to spend $50,000 buying new teeth or whatever, but that was never a good idea for Luke. Mike Perry is like tailor-made for bare knuckle boxing. He's the face of bare knuckle boxing at this point. He's now beat up Michael Venom Page and Luke Rockhold, two excellent strikers in their own rights. So then he had that face-off with Connor also.
Yes, so smart. Good for him.
Yeah, that's the smartest thing he's ever done. So good for him, yeah.
Yeah, no, good for him. But that's all little fun stuff. Let's talk about what we got coming this weekend, UFC 288.
Yeah, just we're not going to go over all of them, but just there's a lot of good prelim fights on this card. Just keep an eye out for Phil Hawes, local fighter Parker Porter, Marina Rodriguez, Chaos Williams, Kennedy Njoku versus Devin Clark. That's a great matchup. And then the main event, or the featured bout on the prelims, Drew Dober versus Matt Favola. That's going to be an absolute banger. Tailor-made to lead off or to bring us into the pay-per-view main card. So
I think I'm leaning towards Dober, but that's going to be a dogfight.
Same, yeah. But let's start off with this main card: Kron Gracie versus Charles Jourdain.
Jourdain, 13-6-1, 8 KOs, 4 subs, 1 decision. He's a finisher. Kron Gracie, 5-1. All his wins by submission, 5 submissions. Also a finisher from the legendary Gracie family. He's clearly going to have the advantage on the ground with jiu-jitsu. But, Kron is coming off his first loss to Cub Swanson a couple years ago. So it's taken a while here from the pick up this fight. I think the issue will be is where is Kron overall on his overall MMA skills? We started on the feet, and he's got to get it to the ground. And a guy like Jourdain, who's got 4 subs, 8 KOs, he can finish you on the feet or on the ground. I think he's just overall a better MMA fighter. So my instincts are Charles Jourdain will get this, and we'll end up probably finishing Kron at some point later in the fight. But we say puncher's chance. Kron Gracie, anyone with that last name Gracie has submissions.
Yeah, he better protect his neck for sure. But why are they giving Kron these high-level guys? He's 6-1 or something. He has or 5-1. He has six fights total. Why is he fighting Charles Jourdain, who has like 30 fights? He fought Cub Swanson before that, who had like 25 fights.
Yeah.
I get that the guy's a name because he's a Gracie, but they're not doing him any favors. So I hope that he's vastly improved because I think he's going to need it. I would imagine Charles Jourdain just grinds out a decision on him because Kron is tough. He's proved to be a tough guy. I think he just gets kind of a beat down unless he snatches a neck. But I think it's just going to be a decision for Jourdain. So, all right, let's move on to another fight that is newly developed because of people pulling out. Movsar Evolev versus Diego Lopes.
Evolev is 16-0, 3 KOs, 4 subs, 9 decisions. He's just all around a really good fighter. Diego is 20-5. He's got 7 KOs, 11 subs, and 2 decisions. This is his UFC debut. So, he had one fight that he lost on the Contender Series, and he had another loss. Then he's come back with 2 finishes, and he's getting this opportunity. So we'll see how he does. I got to go with Evolev here. I say by decision because I see that most of his wins are by decision, and Diego is a quality fighter, so it's a little hard for me to say for sure he's going to get the finish. So.
Yeah, I don't know much about Diego, but I understand why Bryce Mitchell pulled out of this fight. I wouldn't have accepted Evolev as a replacement, especially not on short notice. So I'm just going to go with Movsar by decision as well. I think he's going to be too much for Lopez.
Yeah.
All right, move on to Jessica Andrade versus Xionan.
Jan is 16, 3-1, 7 KOs, 9 decisions. She's a little spark plug, but this is a definite big matchup for her when you're taking on Jessica Andrade, former strawweight champion. She's got it done at bantamweight. She's got it done at flyweight. She's just got power everywhere. She's 24-10, 9 KOs, 8 subs, 7 decisions. I like Andrade because I just think she's one of the best fighters in the world. I don't know if she's going to win gold again at this division, but she's with that power, she's always near the top. I'll say she gets it done. Second round TKO.
Yeah, I said that I pity the woman that has to fight Andrade next after her loss to Blanchfield. She did not look like herself. Obviously, Erin looked fantastic, but I'm sure Jessica wants that fight back. I bet she's just been boiling to get back in there. So I bet Jessica KOs her in the first round. Jan uses a lot of lateral movement, so that would be the only thing that will make me think she can get to any later rounds. But once Jessica cuts that cage off and she starts landing on her, she's going to finish her quick, I think. So I'll say
a good call. Bring up Blanchfield. I forgot she is coming off that loss, but I think that's just more of a credit how good Erin Blanchfield is as time will go on, as we see. But
right, anyone can get caught slipping. Maybe she overlooked her, but I'm sure that was fuel all through camp. Helping her run a little hotter. So move on to the co-main event. Belal Muhammed versus Gilbert Burns. This is a probable number 1 contender determinant.
Muhammad is 22, 3-1, 5 KOs, 1 sub, 15 decision. He's won 8 out of his last 9. There was a no contest in there. His last loss was in 2019. This guy knows how to win. Gilbert
that no
Burns.
Contest was to the champ also. Yeah, he poked him in the eye real bad.
Yep. Champ was Leon Edwards. So Gilbert Burns, 22-5, 6 KOs, 9 subs, 7 decisions. Interesting to note he fought 3 weeks ago. So
wasn't much of a fight.
Yeah, this is a real competitive matchup here, though. I feel like storyline wise, in a perfect world, Muhammad's going to fight Edwards. We're going to rematch that. We're going to get this for a title. But I feel like real life tells me that Gilbert Burns is a tough matchup for anybody. And although this could go anywhere, something tells me Burns will pull this off. I feel like Burns, I don't think it's such a disadvantage he fought 3 weeks ago because he took no damage. I think he's sharp. And I don't know. This is probably going to go the distance. And Muhammad, Belal is really good at finding ways to win decisions. I mean, we've joked about decision aid. He's coming off his finish recently, but I don't think he'll finish Burns. I'm taking Burns. I'll take Burns by decision.
Neither one of these guys are going to be fighting Leon next because Leon's going to lose to Colby. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it's an interesting matchup, but with momentum, I would say the momentum is with Belal. Yes, Gilbert just beat Masvidal, but that wasn't a super great fight. He didn't dominate Masvidal like he probably should have. So I think that Belal probably grinds out a decision in a boring win. Now, I think that they're pretty well matched, and that's going to make Belal lean on his clinch work and wrestling and just try to stay safe. So I think it'll be a boring decision win for Belal.
All right. Main event.
All right, main event. Aljamain Sterling versus returning Triple C Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, former gold medalist in wrestling. Former flyweight champ, former better bantamweight champ, Henry Cejudo, 16-2, 8 KOs, 8 decisions. In a lot of ways, these guys are kind of fighting for bantamweight GOAT in some ways too, I would say. Like you think of the greats at bantamweight, like Cruz, I would say has to be on that list, and Dillashaw. But like Sterling is kind of putting together that run right now, and Cejudo never put together that run because he quit. So if he comes back here and gets it done, but anyway, Sterling is 22-3, 3 KOs, 8 subs, 10 decisions, 1 disqualification. That's how he won the championship, and he's won 8 in a row. His last loss was in 2017, so he has not tasted defeat in a long time.
Head kick for Marlon Moraes, I believe.
Yeah,
that was his last loss.
I do believe you are correct here. And they got me looking here. Yep. Head kick KO. Good call. So, it's funny. I put these questions out there sometimes to our YouTube audience. And a lot of people are picking Cejudo because they feel like he's been working on his striking and wrestling wise that, you can't compete with him. But I do wonder, like, he did retire. He's not been fighting. But he's been training with guys like John Jones, and so I do.
And with Mighty Mouse, he's been training with Mighty Mouse also.
Yeah, so you're training with the best in the world, and we're seeing what a difference he makes too in some of those people as a coach. So it's kind of it's interesting. So, but Sterling, he looks a lot bigger than Cejudo.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. Everybody seems to be. And I'm talking just picking Cejudo. I don't know what the betting odds are on this. Have you seen?
I haven't.
Yeah. I got to go with Sterling.
I think they're pretty even. I think that, I think Aljo might be like minus 125. So basically pick him.
Yeah, I think Sterling's just bigger. And I think that because of that, he'll be able to do okay in the wrestling, like, not get taken down easily, at least. And I think his striking, he's always working on and stuff too. And I think he's just been. I'm not going to be surprised if Cejudo gets it done. He's one of the elite. They find ways to win. He's one of the best in the world. But I'm a little hesitant about because of that time off. So I'm leaning towards Cejudo. I'm leaning towards Sterling. I say he gets a late finish, round 4.
Yeah, this is super tough to call. Henry needs to come back from this layoff as his best self to get this win. This is not an easy fight for him at all. So I think Sterling is underestimating Henry's wrestling in the interviews that I've heard. But I think he's too long, he's too strong, and he's too unorthodox for Henry after a layoff. So Henry may be coming back, well rested and healed up and everything, having not competed in 3 years or something, not getting as many injuries. He'll be very healthy. So it just really determines on what we're going to get from him. He's also not super young. So I don't know. It's also possible either way that this fight goes, we see them both at featherweight at some point too. Fighting, but I think in this fight, in this fight, I think I'm going to go with Sterling also. I think he stays safe enough. He's unorthodox. Henry makes a mistake, and Al just so good at getting to that back, especially being the longer fighter and Henry shooting in on him. I think he's going to get on his back. I think he subs him, probably rear naked choke in round 3.
Yeah, I would say both are going to have similar paths here. Sean O'Malley is going to be meeting the winner of this fight. And I would say after that fight, if either is successful against O'Malley, that if Volk, especially if he's the champ, then you're going to see somebody try to like move up and try to win that featherweight gold too.
Especially if Volkanovski beats
Yair.
Yair. Yeah, he needs a new challenge, and that's something exciting for the featherweight division. So, also fighting this weekend, we mentioned it briefly on One Championship on Friday, May 5th. Demetrius Johnson's fighting Moraes for their 3rd bout for the Bantamweight title, possibly DJ's last fight. It's a good card. It's on Amazon Prime. If you have it, it's free on Amazon Prime, so I'll be checking that out. But just shout out to DJ. He's my GOAT for sure.
Yeah. And he holds a victory over Henry Cejudo too. So
yeah.
And the fight that he lost to Cejudo was
I didn't think he lost that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but all right. Tell people what we got coming up one more time.
All right. May 13th, we're going to be reviewing UFC 288 and talking about the big fights on UFC Fight Night, Rosenstruck versus Almeida, which is a 3 p.m. Eastern card. And then May 20th, UFC Fight Night, Pennington versus Aldana. And then June 3rd, we'll be talking about UFC Fight Night, Allen versus Bruno Silva.
All right, folks. We'll see you at the fight.